I'm just going live early. I gotta go and shut this thing off. Oh, I guess the YouTube live. Oh, it is. Okay, so I gotta shut the volume off. Okay, muted. Hey, Chris. Let's go. Cheers, buddy. Oh, I just got back. Hey, Scrooge. Not too much. I day off today, so I went to the scrap yard and picked up all my stuff from the auction and got home and went and took the dogs out, and we just got back about 10 minutes ago. And I'm having a drink because I this is my night for having a drink, and it's a long weekend here too. Oh, you guys can jump up if you want. Dan won't be on. Hey, Brent, how's it going? Dan's down in the States getting his front end this weekend, so he is driving right now. Oh, how's everybody doing? Everybody have a good week? I see Brent's already farming. Man, the farmers here wish they were farming. They don't. We don't do hay until July here. It's pretty. And they only get one cut, so kind of sad. If it's we're supposed to have some pretty bad wildfires this year, so hopefully not. What have you guys been doing? I know that's right. It's been scrapping. Got all kinds. Prom weekend. Holy, your oldest. The the boy or girl? They're both bad. Everybody's like, oh, you don't want to have girls because there's always guys like sniffing around, and they. But having boys is bad too. I was one. Yeah, the I don't know. Like I think times are changing probably for the better for prom night. I know when I was in high school, it was you know there was a lot of not nice things went down, but yeah, I'm sure it still does. But people like kids nowadays seem to be a little more respectful for each other. Oh, good. Okay. I thought you were out haying already, and I'm like, man, that's crazy. Oh, yeah, I think it's weird how the like when I was a kid, there was all kinds of fishing for both problems. There was all kinds of pressure, eh? Like even just from parents, like not mothers, but I mean fathers, where it was always like, oh, prom night. We didn't have prom; we called it formal, but and I didn't even go. I went to the parties afterwards. But yeah, that's good. I same as our kids. Like they're in a group of people that they tell each other, their how they feel or what's going on. And whereas we didn't never did, it was always a I don't know what it was, like some sort of a power game. I don't even know how we learned that. Like it was just the stupid thing, and but they're smarter now. I think kids are people. People are always going on thinking they're dumber because they're always on screens and that. But I don't know. Our kids anyhow. They got their minds right. I think they see what the world is and just kind of work within it. They don't try to. They're not trying to be somebody they're not. But oh, it's good. I think. Like I look back at even some of the stuff I did, and I'm not proud of it. But it's done now. And at the time, that was like we had movies like Porky's and Revenge of the Nerds and stuff like that, and it's like not teaching us good things. I mean, they're funny, Don't get me wrong, I'd still watch them now and have a good laugh. But yeah, like like the panty raid stuff, and then the shower thing from Porky's, like not good. But at the time, that's what we were taught was how boys were supposed to act. I'm glad they don't act that way as much now. I'm sure there's still lots of it going on, but it just seems like the girls aren't putting up with it as much. Oh yeah, Brent, you take it easy, and Chris, you do know things. Oh man, so yeah, I just thought I'd come on, have a whiskey, and see what everybody's been up to. I got I had to go in and get my auction stuff, and I'm gonna do a video on it, but I got this thing off of Facebook Marketplace. This guy, he was giving it away, but I sent him a message and told him I'd get him a case of beer if he held it till Friday. You're old and don't remember things, yeah. I know. I'm old too, buddy. But yeah, this thing's called a Sola microprocessor or microcomputer. I don't know. I'm gonna find it here, and then I will come back. I know that I was talking to the guy about it, so it should be on my things here. Yeah, it's a Sola microcomputer regulator, and it is huge. I shouldn't say huge. It is heavy. I don't know what's in it yet. He said basically it's a huge capacitor. So he had this. Oh, thank you, Don. I just got in, and I'm glad to see you. How was your night? Oh, hey, Seanrad, what are you doing up this late? But yeah, so this Sola thing, it's crazy. Like I got there, give him his case of beer, and it took the two of us, like two grown men, to lift that thing up into the truck. And so he has an internet, like he's got a garage full of servers and stuff for all different companies. He runs like people's internet for them and that. And so he had this generator that would come on when the power would go out, and I guess generators have dirty power and it wrecks computers. So he has this thing wired into the generator, and then I guess it cleans the power, so that when the computer gets the power through it, I don't know. I guess it just is clean and it doesn't wreck the computer. But yeah, it's like just this massive thing, but I haven't looked at it. It's still in the back of the truck, and so I'm going to do a video on it maybe tomorrow. I'm just going to open it up and see what's in it first, because whatever it is, it's heavy. I thought it must be transformers, but if it's a capacitor, I don't know. But anyways, I'm going to open that thing up tomorrow. If any of you guys have ever done one like that or seen one, I'd never heard of it, but when I looked it up, I guess they were thousands and thousands of dollars, like when they came out. I think they're kind of obsolete now. Yeah, and I have an inverter generator. I don't have an inverter generator. I've got an inverter that I'm going to run off of my batteries, and it's a pure sine wave inverter. And apparently I don't need this for that. But if I ever wanted to run it directly off a generator, then I need this thing. Not that any computer, like this guy's, got a lot of company data and computers and stuff going, and like they need that stuff up and running all the time. So I understand why you'd spend $6,000 on a thing. But he said he's had it for 15 years, but he hasn't used it in 5 years because he got some sort of a natural gas inverter generator. Yeah, I'll probably use a grinder on it. No, I think it should unscrew. I don't know. I didn't really get a good look at it. I just know it was way heavier than I was expecting. I just thought it looked kind of neat, so I told him, like he said, it was first come first serve. And then I just thought, well, you know, if I offer him a case of beer, because he had mentioned that he did like beer. So, and so for, I don't know, 25 bucks or whatever, I think the 15 pack of beer was, I got this thing. And if it's got copper in it, it's going to be well worth it. But for all I know, it's just a solid lump of iron. Uh, who knows? I got a nice wood stove too. The for the for wintertime when I get the 40 footer, it's like it's called a Jodel, Jotul. I guess they're from Finland or Sweden or something. And yeah, I picked it up for 200 bucks. I guess they used to sell for around 5 grand back in the day when this one was released. So 5 to 7 grand or something like that. So I got it for 200, and it looks beautiful. So there's no way I'm going to be able to get it in there myself, but I'm going to see if I can find a few people to come and help me get it off of the truck because yeah, I can't do it. But oh, it'll be nice to have a wood stove instead of having that diesel heater ticking. It, I know it doesn't really bother me that much, but when I'm editing the video after, I'm just sitting there going like, oh, that's got to be annoying. And I know Dan hates it, but whatever. Sean, you don't have a wood stove in your garage, do you? I don't think you do, or I haven't seen one. I think you have a wood stove in your house, though, don't you? The it'll be good. It'll be good to get out and cut some wood. Oh, you don't have one in your house either, or nope, just the garage. I yeah, I haven't had to cut wood in a long time, but I think if I no wood anywhere. Oh, I thought somebody in New Brunswick. You guys got tons of trees there. That you know, I guess though you, especially now, you'd have a hard time out there. You'd be probably pretty shaky with the chainsaw, splitter, and all that. But yeah, we used to burn wood like when I was young. We all that's how we heated our house all winter, every winter. So um, it'll be nice to get back to doing wood. I used to love going out in the fall and scouting around, finding a few dead trees, knocking them down. And I've got a little electric splitter I found in the dump and fixed up. So I was going to use it for motors, but I haven't got around to it. Plus, I don't know how to weld. And to me, it doesn't seem like I should be paying for somebody to weld it. Hard to insure a house with a wood stove. Oh yeah, well, they're not going to. I mean, it's in a sea can. Yeah, you should like for your shop. It'd probably be pretty good because you don't get too cold there, right? Yeah, well, New Brunswick Power needs to. They need money too, right? I'm sure you probably know somebody or know somebody who knows somebody who works there, and you got to keep those people working. That's the way I look at it with using paper and stuff. Like you know, the forestry industry is it needs money too. Um, this one's a big stove. Let me see if I can find a picture of it. It's a Yodel. Um, I think it was this. Oh yeah, Firelight CB. So I'll find an image of it here. Yeah, there. Um, okay. Now I just got to figure out again how we do this. Present. Share screen. Yodel. Okay. Yeah, so that's the stove where my cursor is. I don't know if it's actually showing you where my cursor is. Um, but it's a beautiful stove. I and it's got like on the top. I don't know if I can. Oh, I guess I have to actually go to the thing here. Um, I guess this must be the new version of it. But you can load it. Oh no, with oh yeah, you can load it I think from the side, the front, and then you can load it from the top. Well, this one's been discontinued too. But yeah, it's got like a catalytic converter in the top here. But this thing, you can like this goes up and down, so you can flop it down, and then you can cook on it or whatever, which I like. I always enjoyed cooking stuff up on the wood stove. Let me get unshare this. Um, but yeah, like so, like they said it was 5 to 7 grand when that thing was new in like up here in northern BC. So I was not Florida winter, yeah. No, I know it gets cold up there, but it's like you're not at 30 below Celsius for you know a month. We're not anymore either, really. But like it'll stay 20 below, 25 below for 3-4 weeks or whatever sometimes. And like Scrooge, it stays pretty cold up there. But I think you guys in Virginia get even up in the mountains. I think it doesn't stay too cold for too long. I know you get lots of blasts, but yeah. So I got that, and then I bought for $5. I got a pallet of those aluminum lights from the light plant generators, but they're not. They don't have the transformers in them. They're just the aluminum shells. That I remember when I used to go down there to Florida, and it'd be winter time, and it would still be 75, 80 degrees down there, and these guys would show up and unload the truck, like hand bomb off 700, 800 bales of hay off of out of the truck, and then I come back down in the summer and the same guys are out there, except for now it's like 95 and so humid. I'm just sitting in there with the air conditioning on in the truck waiting for them to get done. And like four guys out there, like just drenched with sweat. I don't know how people can work like that in that heat and humidity. Oh, okay. Stop that screen. Yeah, I have two when I wake up and don't leave the house. A new auction. Oh, right on. Yeah, we don't have one now till June, I think. June or July. It's yeah, it's we don't I wish we had more. I actually I don't wish we had more because it takes me a while. I got a pallet of tin there that I got to go pick up. Hey Daniel. Oh, wait. Party has started, my friend. Get into it. I don't know how long I'll stay on. We got one more episode. We got the final episode of Game of Thrones to watch. Might try and watch it tonight. I don't know. Outside playing football, yeah. Dan Il. The what's it like down in Texas right now, Daniel? Is it hot? I know it's humid. I've only been to Houston a couple times, but man, it's humid there too. One time was right after a hurricane. 95% humidity. I like sometimes we get up to like 35-40% humidity here. It's just too much. I bought another bottle of whiskey today too, but I haven't started it. Figure I'll finish this one first. I got a little bit left. Then I'll get the Glenmorangie into me. Yeah, hot as hell. You don't get a lot of humidity there, do you, Scrooge? I guess you're close to water though, but we're close to water too. But I guess it's just dry. It's just dry air. Although now that we have a lake here, we didn't have a lake last summer, so it was a river. Now it's a lake, so it might be bad. Not a good hair day for the ladies. No, I have not. I drank some Crown Royal on Mother's Day though when we went out for dinner, but it was just regular Crown Royal. They had apple Crown Royal, but that makes me feel angry. I don't know how I feel about blackberry Crown Royal. I like blackberries and I like Crown Royal, so maybe. But what's this one? Change the topography. Oh, the mine. The what kind of mine have you got? Like an open pit? Yeah, I know. I when I went down, they were. I maybe already told you this. They were bulldozing, like they were just in the strip mall, bulldozing furniture right out into the parking lot, like running bulldozers inside from flooding and that. I guess it just. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, well, why can't they dry it out? But I guess you just can't. Like everything in that furniture place was just rode off. That's crazy. Leather seats in Florida, but leather pants. I see people down there with leather pants on. I don't know. I don't know how. Well, I will try it. If I next time I go out somewhere and they have it, I will try it. I'm not trying the apple though. Oh, iron. The Iron Range area. Isn't that weird? I never think of where iron mines are. I know they are. I know they exist. I just never thought of where they are. The so there's oh no, that's not iron, it's tungsten. I think there's some places in Canada that mine tungsten. And I think you have to add that to the iron, if I'm not mistaken, to make tungsten steel or something. But the one thing, wait, oh really? They're competing with the mine? You'd think that the mine would buy the scrap and just mix it in with their stuff. Although no, I guess it's already past iron by then. They probably don't produce any steel. They probably just produce the iron, eh? Iron, like just ore. I don't know. I don't know how that works. I know I have that stove has like a small crack. It's like a 2 inch, but it's cast iron. So I want to get it welded before I install the stove into the sea can. Taco night. That's Tuesday. Prices aren't so great here now. Yeah, I went to the scrapyard today and I did pretty well. The prices haven't gone down here in 3 weeks. Like they're still the same. So, and I mean, it's not amazing, but four 412 for Bear Bright, and for some reason they're really close, and it's like 408 for number one and 404 for number two. So for the copper, the steel prices have been trash for like since the tariffs were announced. Steel prices went they were at 55 a ton, and then somebody said they were going down again, like for shred. I don't know. Prepared isn't too bad actually. Hey, Mike. The Yeah, prepared was like 115 or something. It's not great. Like it was 175 the last time I took some in. But yeah, your prices are well, a lot of times they're pretty close to mine. Okay, what do we got here? what they call materials that pull from the ground. You Canadian, Canadian, Dean, uh, I don't even understand what. I think you've been into the whiskeys too. I'm glad to see you're getting all legit, Mike. I I shouldn't say I'm glad to see that. I wish you didn't have to get all legit. I wish you didn't have to spend that money. But I guess when you're legit, now you can write all of that money off of your taxes, I suppose. I don't know. I don't ever do anything. Oh, a bunch of junk chainsaws and stuff. Yeah, I can't bring myself to tear apart motors or engines. Oh, hey, Roger. Going on Monday. And then you'll be fully looked after. You can just start work early, or do you still have to wait till 10? I'd say he is. The there was a oh wait, look who's here. B-Dog.
Are you there? It's called taconite, you Canadian.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I was making a joke about taco night.
Yeah, no, I live on up north. It's called the Iron Range. It's where there's like 5 or 6 mines that all kind of come together in my area there.
Oh really?
So it kind of screws up the lay of the land, and the weather really cuts really hard up through my area. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird how stuff like that can affect it. Eh? We don't have any mines here anymore, but like a couple hours south, there's some massive coal mines, and the people down there say that like there's no lakes or anything around them, but it's like they have lake effect snow.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm just looking up your Iron Range here. That's not is it the Masabi Iron Range?
Yep. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've got trucks about this 3 times the size of my house, literally right outside my back door.
That's crazy looking. Look how red that. Here, let me just.
That's my area. That's what's right outside my back door. I'm right butt up against the mine, so I don't have any neighbors.
Oh, really? Not this thing here, though.
Yeah, absolutely. If you, maybe I'll send you where I'm at there in your email, and you can look up my address right behind my house. There's pits. In fact, there's pits. Oh, I have a test pit in my yard. That's my pond.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no joke, eh?
Oh man, I yeah, it's that's just weird. I've just never even thought about where the iron comes from.
That's where most all of it's not the United States steel because we were still getting it from China, I guess, after they sent it out. But that's where you get most of your steel shipped out from the United States is right from here.
Oh, so they actually produce the steel.
They pull the ore out, they mix it up, and they make taconite pellets, and they ship it out to add like the coke and everything to it to make the steel. Yeah.
Oh, so like they would go from there to Pennsylvania or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I need to have another one of these because now Mike's here.
Oh, I can't see the chat right now if anybody's talking or anything. So
Let's see here. Oh, he says you're just west. Brent Erickson says you're just west of him.
okay, all right. I pull you up on the TV. I can watch the no, I can't see the chat through the TV. So yeah, I don't know what to say.
I just clicked it up on there.
All right, there we go.
Roger says he guesses you're not drinking well water.
Oh no, you need a
Or no,
water softener.
sorry, that's right. Then. Yeah, well that's the epitome of hard water. We had hard water like in Ontario where I live, but it wouldn't be anything like that.
Yeah, no, it's interesting, and yeah, no, they don't buy scrap or nothing like that. But it's really funny how it affects the price drastically. You know.
Yeah. Howdy, Scrap Rod. Good to see you, buddy. Been a long time. You never come around anymore now that you're a legitimate man with a real job and everything. Look at this. Compliant. I think you mean complaint. That's all you do. Oh, man, oh, man. Yeah, it has been a long time. Old Scrap Rod, he just living the good life now. Doesn't want to slum around with us anymore.
Because I'm gonna go through the ditches. Oh, that's it.
So,
No, it's funny. I just had to laugh because I had to bring my truck in, and they gave me a loaner, and it was that Honda Odyssey, and I got it the day after you and Mike does stuff, put your videos out, and my wife was just laughing.
yeah, man, I love that. I love the Kia. It was great, but it also was very hard on fuel. I found.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it was like because it was the highest safety rated, so it like the doors, everything was full of steel, and
okay.
so it had like a pretty big 6-cylinder motor, but just the weight of it alone was it was hard. Then you get that thing loaded up with kids, like we'd go up to the hunting camp and that when we lived in Ontario, and like it was as much as my half ton. Oh,
Yeah, I don't know. Mike sure does fit a lot of stuff inside of his van there, though.
oh
For
yeah.
sure.
Oh, I
For sure.
know.
He's
So what does this mean? Are you in Virginia, Eveleth Mountain Iron?
Yeah, I know every one of those names. Eveleth. In fact, if you pull up Eveleth, it has the world's largest hockey stick. Uh,
Oh, really?
yeah, there's a bunch of weird stuff up here. Hey,
Yeah, we have a lot of the world's largest stuff. All like when you drive across Canada, man, there's like world's largest crocus. Like it's
right.
like as you're like, oh yeah, well that's important. Okay, so what am I looking up? Eveleth?
Yeah, why not? That's the area. It's all around.
All right, let's see here. I want to see this hockey stick. I guess I should have typed in hockey stick. There it is. Hockey stick. Holy, look at that. That's crazy. Is it wood?
Yeah, it's all wood. It's it's some people were bored, decided they were going to make the world's largest hockey stick.
That's nuts, eh? We've got like the world's largest Pysanka in Alberta. And to me, oh wait, that's not even showing that. So maybe I have to remove this and then add it back to state. There we go. No, that's still the same thing. All right. So I guess I have to just delete that one. And then do another one.
Look at you all pro and stuff. You got this.
There we go. Yeah, sometimes you have to learn things. But so can you see that there now?
That's it right there. Yeah.
Look at that thing. So that was just like some local people that made that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We also have the Hockey Hall of Fame and everything right there in Evelyn. So yeah, it's a big deal.
Oh, what do we got here? So Brent says he got lots of friends up on the range.
All right.
Oh yeah, Scrap and Junk. That thing is amazing. They have the world's longest covered bridge in Heartland, New Brunswick, and it's like just super cool. But they have covered bridge chip factory, but it burnt down there last year, didn't it? Did they ever rebuild that? They had lobster flavored chips, and it was flavored with real lobster. Like,
Why not? Covered bridge though. That'd be a little creepy going across.
yeah, I remember the Ichabod Crane,
Yeah.
Legend of Sleepy Hollow. I think that was all when he got his head cut off or something. Was on a covered bridge or something. Yeah, yeah. We're sorry to hear that, Dan. That's the shits. The
Yeah.
but yeah, we are lucky.
I know
Okay.
I'm shipping mine off the prom. He don't ask where he got it from, but he's like 6'2", 300 and some pounds, and holy buckets.
The well, hell, is he a hockey player?
No, no, he's not a hockey player.
Well,
He's big.
they'll be sad.
Yeah, they wanted him on football and stuff. He just wasn't interested in it. So that's his deal, you know.
Yeah, yeah. You can't force him into it.
No, but like you said, they got to really. It's interesting. Everybody thinks these kids are kind of falling off, and yeah, because you see a lot on social media. But I'm really shocked and surprised at how, the community of friends that they do have are really, really good for kids today.
Oh yeah, yeah. Our kids too. Like once they moved, this small little town we're in wasn't great for kids growing up because Olivia was like the only girl in her grad class, so there was like 7 boys in her because it's just such a small school. So that's kind of tough because it's pretty hard to find friends, people to hang out with.
Yeah,
But the yeah, it's like I don't know. It's just one of those things. As soon as they got into Fort St. John, which is like an hour or so away, they got in there and just found their friends, like found their group of friends, and now they're like just inseparable, and they're all great. Like we love just hanging out with them and having a few drinks, and they're all just so honest with each other. Like nobody's dicking anybody around. If they're mad,
yeah, yeah.
if they're mad, they just say, I respect
Don't be an idiot.
yeah, I respect your opinion and everything, but this is not cool, and they all seem to be fine with that. They all seem to listen to each other, and we never did. Like when we were kids, it was like, hey, you're starting to be a little bit of an idiot, and then oh, you want to fight? Like,
Yeah, yeah, right off the bat. Yeah, yeah, that's how it goes.
yeah, I don't know. I'm people are always down on the kids nowadays, but I don't know. All right, as far as I can see, it's not just ours. Like all the kids that are around them too, they all seem like they're pretty decent people. And yeah, you know, I understand that we need people going into the trades, and none of them seem to want to do that. But whatever, that's up to them.
Well, and like, do you blame them? Up here, there was when I first moved up here, there was like 12 mines, and then all of a sudden the mines shut down. Everybody wanted you to go work there. They shut down. The towns literally died. There's so many abandoned towns up here that I get to go walk through and explore and stuff. It's insane. So they die, and then people congregate in areas, and yeah, it's hard to get kids in the trades because they just don't stick around long enough.
Yeah, and I just want to say, hey, Smitty, and I'm glad to hear that you're living the Fallout shelter dream, the wasteland. I started watching that show Fallout. It was pretty good.
If you
Oh,
want to see a good show, watch Twisted Metal. It's only got 2 seasons out, I think, but it's actually pretty good. You probably get a little kick out of it.
Twisted Metal.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody's young enough to play get PlayStation 1, the original PlayStation, but it used to be a game.
Yeah, I remember hearing about a game called Twisted Metal, but wasn't it like truck racing or something?
Kind of, yeah, it was one of those ones. But the TV show's pretty good, actually.
The what is it on, like an actual network, or is it just on?
Yeah. Oh God, I suppose I should be telling you where it's at, and I honestly have no idea because the wife runs the controls, so I I have no idea where it's on.
Oh, I better have one more little drink here.
Yeah, why not? I don't drink. That's just me, just because I can't drink. But here in Minnesota, I got my own things I get to hang out and do with you guys while you guys are busy having your own drinks up there and stuff. So
Yeah, I used to like smoke weed way back in the day, but I don't. Hello, my love.
Hello, my love.
You made me
She really
sausage.
did.
What is it?
It's a concoction.
Oh,
Something special.
chicken nuggets on buns.
Something like that.
Thank you.
it's a sandwich, man.
Yeah, Scrooge is on here. He's the bee because he's afraid. He's
Who else
afraid
is
that
here?
if E-Waste Mike is here.
There's 2 dirty birds.
No, this is just showing the screen, and it shows up as Dirty Bird as well. I can remove that though if that bothers you.
It doesn't bother me.
And Daniel's
There's
there.
E-Waste Mike. Hi. Hi.
look at what E-Waste Mike says.
What did he say?
Look.
Hello, my love. Obviously. Bye.
Bye, baby. Thank you.
Love you, Mike.
Love you, Ralph. These are, I don't know, they're chicken tenders, I guess, but they're on buns. But there's no way I can eat those while I'm on here.
Yeah, it'll turn it. Hey, you might get a few more subscribers. You start eating on screen.
Oh, I know. Isn't that weird? Like I don't get that. This what's it called? I can't.
I don't
remember.
even know.
They just like cram food in mukbang or something like that.
Okay. I have no idea. I just know the ASMR come across my screen all the time, and it drives me nuts.
Yeah, I can't. I don't watch anything ASMR. I quit watching Big Stack D too because it's like after you've watched like 10 of them, they're the exact same thing over and over, and I just listening to the thing going doesn't do anything for me.
No, I appreciate his content and stuff, because it's a lot of work, but it's just not my dig.
No, I really liked it, and then there's just gets to a point where I think I've seen everything. Like it's just the same things over and over. Like I'm gonna tear apart some transformers and melt them down and make something out of them. Like, but I understand, people like that ASMR thing. I just don't.
Right. Like some people don't want to sit there and watch you light your scrapyard on fire, but I got a kick out of it.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's each their own.
So bad. Even with that, the filtration system on, it was like it's a smell where you're like, I don't know what chemicals they used to make this insulation and stuff in the 40s or what else between these like layers, but it like I'm just like, well, I got to step away from this. Luckily it wasn't a lot, but it was just one of those things where it took like 2 hours for it to finally go out.
Oh yeah.
And then I was just kind of like, I'll just wait till my buddy gets here with his excavator, and then we'll just tear the stuff apart that way, because there's no point in me like spending all that time and grinding discs. Yeah, there probably was asbestos, Daniel. I would think that, except for it was on fire. And, I don't think asbestos can burn. I think that's the whole thing of asbestos, is that it's fireproof. and this was like actual flames. Like there was flames coming out later on, and I'm just kind of like, well, I guess it's not just something smoldering. The other one had a bunch of peanuts in it, like whole shelled peanuts, and
Oh, you had a critter.
yeah, like so something was, but they weren't eaten, like they were still all there. So something spilled a bag of peanuts at some point between 1943 and now, and they were perfectly preserved in between the layers of this thing, and they got in somehow through the drain. But then after it went out to my yard, that was when the critters started going in there and pulling them out. And I'm like, where are all these peanuts coming from? And then when I was flipping the thing over, all these peanuts started rolling out, like the whole peanuts. And I was like, oh, that explains it. Like whatever it was, I'm assuming squirrels were taking the peanuts like across the road to our district office's yard. Like I'd walk over there and I'd see these peanuts all around, and I'm like, this is just insane. But if they catch on fire, I could understand them burning. But whatever's, to me, insulation should never burn. Like every insulation should be made fireproof somehow.
Somehow, yeah. Well, you get that foam and stuff. Yeah, you never know
It's
what's
got
in there.
a purpose. It's either no, and they like I could see it kind of like the insulation getting smaller, and as it was smoldering away. So I don't know. It looked like fiberglass insulation, but there's something else there, because I don't think fiberglass actually burns either. I think it might melt though, but yeah.
Right. Well, at least you had your hood.
Yeah. My fart sucker. I don't understand why they put that there. Like, why not put it around the front or something? Because like it's just. And then when my scrapyard, like the manager was out doing a little walk around, he was like, "Oh, you want to sell any of those?" And I said, "No, like I've just got 2 left, and I haven't even used the one. I just used the battery from it so that I have a spare battery. I can keep one on the charger when I'm grinding. Like if I start grinding aluminum and stuff a lot, then I put that on, just because aluminum dust I don't think is good for you.
Right. No, aluminum oxide. Yeah, you don't want that.
But I've never burned through a battery. But for whatever reason, I always like to have that spare battery going, just in case, because sometimes you forget to charge the one that you're using or whatever. Yeah, I don't think it got hot enough though, Chris. But you're right. It does burn if it gets hot enough. It was just grinder sparks. So I don't think that should set anything fireproof on fire. But I'm sure back then they probably were never thinking, hey, we're going to have to worry about an idiot like cutting open this cooler with a grinder. They probably didn't even have like grinders like that when that thing was built. They're like, you cut everything with a file. Like, I don't know. Oh, but what else is going on? Anybody doing anything special for the? Oh, you guys don't have a long weekend, do you?
Down here, I have no idea.
What are you doing for this beautiful long weekend? We're the only Canadians, I think. Oh yeah, it could be full of dust. Yeah, that could have been what caught on fire. That's a long time to be sitting in there.
Yeah.
It's got to build up something. Mold, I guess mold can probably burn, right? Whatever it was, it smelled bad. And what have you been doing all week? You said you're busy. Is it just getting ready for prom, or were you?
Yeah, I I got cleaning out the shop. Like, so my city does citywide pickups and stuff like that. So I've been running around collecting up a bunch of material for the channel and just for my own fun, and
Yeah.
just
Oh,
pretty
you've
much
been
that.
picking through. So do the people set the stuff out on the curb?
Oh yeah. They set it out on the curb. You get a lot of people that kind of trash the areas, and since I'm retired, I go around my town. I'll check out the pile and I'll pick it back up and put it back into the pile, so at least it
Yeah.
doesn't. People quit putting stuff out, and then I leave cards because of TVs and stuff like that. The city won't take, so I get a bunch of free material. I get a year's worth of material in this springtime.
Oh, that's right on. Yeah, we have a thing here, but you have to fill out a form to get them to come and pick up. I think they call it oversized day or something like that,
Okay.
where you can just put whatever out. But our dump is free here, so most people over the course of the year will. Now they're starting to call me and they'll be like, "Oh, I got a fridge here, I got a freezer here, or what else do you take?" But
And that's how it starts.
yeah, but I mean, like we only have 700 or so people here, so it's not a like it'll never be a full time thing unless I can get going with if I can maybe get the dog catching contract or something like that, because there's very few dog catching things that need to be done. So if I can get that, then I could also do recycling on the side. Then I could, if I'm going to be here all the time anyhow, I could do what Mike's doing. Like my scrapyard would work with me where they, let you buy a bunch of transformers or, lots of times there's like, I see PTAC air conditioners and stuff all sitting there, and they just go into the shred. Like these guys, like you said,
Yeah.
we don't have time to pull fridge compressors out, and I understand that it's not really worth it. But like for air conditioners, like that would totally be worth them. They if they're buying the shred for 5 cents a pound and they sell it to me for even 15 cents a pound, I'm going to make my money back on an air conditioner.
Of course, yeah.
And have a little extra. But the you're still going to get your shred price for the main part of it, but then you got all the rads and so.
Right.
But like having a full-time job and doing that at the same time, it's just hard. And my job's going to be apparently in a couple of weeks it's going to start back on 3 days, 13.5 hour days, so I'll have 4 days a week off.
Oh, okay.
But I hope it doesn't. I hope I can stick with the four 10-hour days, because that's just I'm old. I don't need to be working. I'm pretty old. Yeah, it's just like I just know that I'm working 13.5 hour, and that's what you get paid. So really you're working 14 hours.
Well, yeah, between travel and whatever.
Yeah. Well, no, because I'm only 5 minutes from our shop. I told them I'm not driving to town. So if they want me to do this, then I'm bringing the truck to their shop here. So it's only 4 or 5 minute drive away. But they don't pay you for your lunch, but they make you take your lunch. So.
And you can't write your lunch off on your taxes. That's a lot of work and stuff. So really,
you can't. Actually, you might be able to on that shift because it's over 12 hours.
That's what you're in Canada. I keep forgetting you're in Canada, but hey, it might be close to the same. You never know.
It is the close to the same, and I do believe that you're right. Like I just don't. It's been years since I've worked over 12-hour shifts. We do like when we're plowing and there's a snowstorm, we'll stay late and do it, but I never think to write my meal off, because the company pays us. If we work after 12 hours, I think we get a half hour for like an extra half hour paid double time, and then another half hour to pay for our lunch that we have to buy, even though we only have a couple of restaurants, and they're not open mostly on the weekends or at night. So it's not like we're not
Right.
actually buying it. But so in the end, you get like 2 hours basically of your pay if you work more than 12 hours. And I just stop by the house, like I'll phone home and just ask Jerry, hey, can you make me some soup or whatever? And I'm gonna swing in there and grab it. But it's good that way. But with these guys now, they want me to go like drive the hour and a half to town, pick up the truck, go and do my 13 and a half hours or 14 hours, and then drive all the way back here from town. And I said, there's no way I'm doing that. That's 17 hours. That's a 17-hour day.
Right. And then you just have no time and you're dogged out, and then you miss out on stuff. But I don't
Well,
know. I had
I
a
told myself, I know that I will get into an accident because I'll be so tired. I can't just come
yeah.
home and go to sleep, get my full 6 hours sleep, and then go right back to work. It's just not how it works here.
Well, see, and I did 10-hour shifts, and I got paid 2 hours extra for like my breaks. I worked through breaks, but then with what I did, I worked in the sex offenders program. So if another staff didn't come in to relieve me, I would be forced shift up to 16 more hours
Man,
in a row. So I'd be working 26-hour shifts in a row. That's also how I was able to retire at 40 years old, because I banked the majority of those hours in comp time and saved it in my retirement.
oh,
So
that's
so it
nice.
worked out.
Yeah, we're not allowed to do that. We're like, so I just got laid off for a month, and they paid out all of my bank time. So
Okay, yeah, yeah.
so then I couldn't get unemployment because unemployment sees that, oh, you just got all of this extra money like 2 weeks after you were laid off. Then so I'm like, well, I guess if I'm going to be off for a month, then I should, because I never know with them, they're a corporation. So to me, it's like, are they say I'm going to be laid off for 2 weeks. Then they say, oh, it's going to be another 2 weeks. Are they going to say it's going to be another 2 weeks? I don't know. So I thought, well, I better just apply anyhow. So I started the application, and they said, can you please come back? And I found out that I'm not getting laid off next year because they upped my well, you probably had the same thing, because were you working for the government or for like a corporation through the
Yeah,
government?
no, for the state of Minnesota. So yes,
Right.
through the state government. Yeah.
So I'm a provincial government employee, even though I work for like a contractor that works for the provincial government. So we have like MO2, which is machine operator 2, and that's like driving a plow truck, or running a small loader. Hey, go, go, go. It's not for you. She wants my sandwiches. Um, the and then there's MO3. So if you drive a tractor trailer, or you run the big loaders, or like there's a bunch of different heavier machinery, and if you run that, then you get MO3 rate, which is like an extra $1.50 an hour or something like that. So what they did this time is started me at MO3 so that the MO2s will get laid off before I will, which it's good for me because I like having a couple weeks off. I just like to choose when those.
Yeah, you like to pick and choose where they are. I never ended up taking vacation. Again, I was able to comp time any of my sick time, my vacation, all that stuff went into my comp time at the end of my so in the sex offenders program, I worked with individuals with handicaps and stuff like that was my primary job. And so I worked in the sex offenders program. You sign a contract, you work 10 years and you're out with full retirement benefits. And I signed up for another 10 years. So I just started stacking and stacking and stacking as best I could. But
a buddy of mine did that. He was an electrician, through a union electrician in California, and I think he worked for the state. Like at some point, somewhere, he worked for like maybe doing electrical work on state buildings or whatever it was. But he did that same thing, and he was fully retired by 45.
Yeah.
He was, like he said, like, yeah, I worked hard, but he said at that time he was really into cocaine and stuff, so he needed to. Like he said, I had to work as much overtime as I could, and then he said like he'd take what he needed and he would bank the rest, and then like all of a sudden at the end of it, you've just got this, but our company makes you take that bank time every year, so we can't.
Okay. Yeah, they don't want to be responsible to you dumping out a lot of hours, you know.
Yeah, and also with us, the contract comes up for bid every, so I think this time it's 8 years. So that company might not even be in business, like might not even have this contract next time. So I think that's also one of the factors when the province gave up doing all of the road maintenance and everything themselves and contracted it out. I think that's probably when they quit letting these guys, because like a lot of the old guys that I work with, they were all able to do that, and then once the province let that go, they were all paid out, and except for their union stuff, like all the union stuff stayed in there, but like all their pensions and stuff like that, but all of their holiday time, everything was just paid out in one lump sum, and it really screwed them, I guess, on their taxes
Yeah. Yeah.
because like they were still working, so they that year they made, say they made $50,000 or whatever, and then all of a sudden they just got like 70 more $1,000.
Yeah, just out of nowhere. And then you also get, well, down here you get an early deferral tax of up to 25% if you mess around with your retirement and stuff like that too. So yeah, you get nailed at both ends, man.
Yeah, yeah, they. Oh, sorry, I missed Chris taking off. Take care, buddy, if you're still listening. Hey, Adam, I didn't even see you come in.
Oh, hey there. Yeah, I can't see the chat, but now I can see when you put it up on the screen.
Are you? Oh, you're on your phone, are you?
Me? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So I'm just sitting here up in the room. I'm not out in the shop or nothing like that tonight. So
yeah, I got. We just come wheeling in, and I said, well, I'm gonna go and do the live and have a couple of drinks, and we got it's a long weekend. Plus, I got like this is the weekend when we plant all of our gardens and stuff, so it's like nobody. There's so much frost and stuff. There's still gonna be frost, I'm sure, but the like we're supposed to get snow this weekend. Bye,
yeah, I see that
everybody.
scrapping on the fly. Hey.
Yeah, thanks for coming in, guys. You're not invisible, Adam. I just don't pay attention. That's what Dan's usually here for. Tells me Scrooge can't see the thing, so he can't tell me. I just sitting there enjoying a glass of whiskey. Oh, what system, Roger? Oh, you mean like a storm system? I'm guessing. Yeah, well, Brent was saying that they were calling, so maybe for you too, they were kind of calling for snow this weekend in Minnesota.
Yeah, we were just at like almost 90 degrees yesterday, and right now I got my furnace turned back on because it's about 45 degrees outside. So that's also why I'm not out in the shop because hey, you guys, anybody anybody who's in the room that has seen my videos, everything up until now has been shot in a 32-degree shop. I've got to literally take my camera and put it on my heater and warm it up in between takes and stuff.
Yeah, that and that's why I didn't really do much scrapping at all winter because I couldn't like I was working too, but I mean I still had a few hours each day I could, but for me to go out and try and warm things up enough that my fingers weren't frozen, it
Yeah.
just wasn't worth it. And then when the weekend came, that the last thing I was thinking of is like going and thawing out that frozen sea can,
Yeah.
getting rained on. So this, I'm gonna have this 40-footer like fully done by winter, and I'm just going to. I'm gonna try and do it right. I don't know what that is. I don't. I'm not one for doing things right, but I'm
You
going
just
to.
do it your way. Do it what works for you.
I know, but I like what I found when I started like just cutting and pasting all the styrofoam in there. I'm just kind of like at the end, I was like, wait, how do I hang my lights from the ceiling? I can't just screw them into the styrofoam,
Right, right.
and I can't just screw wood into this, like take some OSB or some plywood or whatever and screw that into the styrofoam. It's not going to stay there.
You
So
just have to build some cribbing ribs around the inside, like
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, so now I've kind of got it all planned out in my head how I am going to be able to do this, because it's 3-inch styrofoam and a 2x4 is 3.5 inch. So
Right.
I'll be able to fit the 3 inches of styrofoam up in there, and then I'll be able to screw the 3.5 inch up, and then I can, like, the ribbing I can just screw in from the, like, drill a hole in the sea can and screw it in from the sides and the top, just for a little extra stability. But
Right, right.
just because I'm afraid, I've got like all kinds of those roofing screws, like the ones for doing your tin and that. So
With
they've
the
got,
grommets on it.
yeah, so they'll seal that all up, and but I'm sure at the end it'll all be crap.
It'll work. You'll figure it out. Just look at
Thanks,
my
Bryce.
shop.
Are you giving me the finger or Scrooge? I hope you're giving Scrooge the finger. Yellow brass was 205. Where did you go? Out of state, I suppose. Yeah, he's not allowed to sell there either. What do you do, Scrooge? Do you have a license?
Yeah, you got to pick up a permit. The thing is about the Minnesota permit that sucks is so you can sell your motors and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
as soon as you pull the cores out of it, it becomes copper wire. Uh, so you got to get your $250 permit, and you can use it for that year. But the kicker is they don't tell people, if you don't immediately renew that permit the following year within the grace period, you have a $250 fine, plus you have to renew your permit for $250.
Oh, well, Bryce, I hope you're listening to that. I think Brent's probably gone now, but I didn't know that. I thought you just picked it up when you needed to go sell stuff.
No, no, it's not like that. That's why, like, when you were asking me about the different prices and you were getting in one of my shorts, so down the road in 10 miles in one way, it's free for me to drop the CRTs off. But most people pay to get rid of their stuff at the dump at like 7 or 8 cents a pound. Plus, it's $5 or $10 for a TV, and they just pay that because they don't want to go the other direction.
Yeah. I found
Yeah,
people
so
here that do that too. Yeah, so Bryce had to say that he can sell brass and old sheet aluminum.
yeah, he can sell brass in Minnesota. He's in Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, you can do all your aluminum and your brass and everything else. It comes down to copper wire, basically. But as soon as you break down any of your transformers or any of your stuff that has any copper wire in it, that's where and it's also going to be up to the scrap yard too. When you go in there, if they're not familiar with you, they may be like, "Hey, where'd you get this stuff from?"
Yeah. Well, when I went to the scrapyard today, he's been
Yeah, it
selling.
is, Daniel.
Did you see this? He's been selling his copper in Wisconsin, and he buys his beer in Wisconsin.
I always wondered about that. I never crossed state lines to do it, but I've got over 1,000. It's almost going to be like that Seinfeld episode when Kramer and Newman tried to sell their pop cans over in Michigan. But I didn't know if you could get away with that or if you had to know somebody who lives there or what. You know how that is. Plus, I can't buy fireworks up here either. So
You can't buy fireworks?
no, absolutely not.
That's something you want to buy?
Fireworks? Yeah, I enjoy fireworks, but you can't buy them in the state. Yeah, CU scrapping. Yeah, that's a Minnesota law that started at the beginning of this year. If you caught Sharky's a few of his videos, he was talking about it there. But yeah,
Beer's cheaper in Wisconsin. Must be a lot cheaper.
I suppose if you got to sit through all those football games, I guess you got to make the beer cheap.
My wife is in the background here, said somebody's gonna need some cream for that burn. Cheaper beer in Wisconsin, we pay for the privilege. So how much is what's the price difference, say, on a 24 pack of regular, I don't know what you get. Like, what's the good beer?
I haven't bought beer in years, so I don't know.
No, but you must know what people drink. Like,
Oh well, I think it's almost $20 a 6 pack where I'm at right now. 6 pack of bottles is like $17. So
oh, really?
yeah.
But I mean, like, do people just drink Budweiser, or is everybody into craft beer, or what's the?
Oh well, depending on what they. So I'm on a. We live in flannel, if that helps. So yeah, pretty much either everybody's gonna follow their rice beer. Some people do, but no, we don't got a lot of top knotters here that want their craft beer or nothing like that for the most part.
Oh. Price is about $6, but I don't know, is that $6 for a case?
We got some.
I heard about it, but didn't delve into it much. Trying to compile a video now on forbidden scrap items, stuff that is pretty much illegal in all states: railroad iron, shopping carts, kegs, etc. Yeah, there was somebody posted a picture. Was it you, Scrooge, at the scrapyard where, I don't know, somebody just, and it was a sign that showed all of the stuff that they will not take. And somebody else had it was on a post, like on a YouTube post or something, I think. Or maybe it was on Reddit. I don't know where I saw it. But anyways, it was like, said pretty much everything is illegal. And but they had like plaques, like cemetery, anything, plaques from a cemetery, like name plates or anything.
Like your brass plates, yeah, your markers, your identification markers, and stuff like that. That's
statues and stuff like that. Like, there's like all of that was illegal. So I believe that's the same way. Hello?
No.
Did you say nerds?
No, but I was going to.
You were going to say nerds? Yeah, like my scrapyard, when I went in there today, I just went to the non-ferrous, unloaded my bunch of wire and stuff I had. Then when I went back in to get my check, the police were in there, and I thought the police were coming in and asking the scrapyard, like, did you see this stuff come in, but it wasn't. Somebody had stolen something from the scrapyard. So they called the cops to say, whatever this is missing, whatever it was, and I'm not sure what it was. But then while I was standing there waiting in line, I heard the guy saying, or the cop saying, well, yeah, I just moved up here, but he said, like, we always had a problem with people stealing like transformers off of the hydro poles. Like, out in the country, they would go and steal, because they knew that it was going to take an hour and a half for the hydro crew to get there.
Yep, absolutely.
So they knock this transformer out, take out, and this is like out in farm country or whatever. So you take out a couple farms' power. These people probably have generators or whatever. They just figure, oh, you know what? Like, somebody hit a hydro pole, but really it's somebody like cuts the power and steals the transformer. Like, to me, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, they do that. It's like, so up here, being in the area I'm at, I have 6 bars, 3 restaurants, and no police station. So pretty much people go into like their vacation homes, and yeah, I think CU Scrapper was mentioning about the law about the wire and stuff. But people break into your vacation home, you come up here, and everybody, your plumbing's gone, all your wires gone, and it's not just that, it's the whole crap that they've just destroyed to get to it, you know.
Yeah.
It's a big thing, and it kind of sucks because you know they're getting money for things they don't need, and yeah, it's a bummer.
Yeah, we got there it was I don't know, I think it was last week or whatever. I did a short, just the one that you actually won it. And like people were going on there, oh yeah, probably enough to get yourself a baggie for the day or whatever. And then other
Yeah, I
guys,
seen that. Yeah,
I just laugh like I'm okay. So like a licensed recycling company is out stealing,
yeah,
like, tearing the wire out of people's houses.
yeah. I hear that all the time. You'd be surprised. I get 100 comments a day that I have to field off of the YouTube there because people tell me how much of a crackhead I am, and why don't I go out and get a real job, you know? And so,
You take the comments off.
depending on if they're too hard, too heavy that I don't think is appropriate for like the whole group. If they got swears in them, they go. I mean, that's just how I run it. And like, we started our channel back in what was it, October? The last day in October was our first video, so I'm still kind of new and figuring it out, you know.
Yeah, I just like I'm not a big censorship person. Like I like to hear people's opinions because then I know who I want to hang out with and that. And
Right, right.
everybody's trying to shut everybody else up, then I can't get the information that I need. So I don't. If somebody was offensive, like I don't care if you call me a thief, because like I know what I am, and
Right.
but if it was somebody like being extremely disrespectful or cursing somebody out, yeah, I'd pull that. I just have never had that. Like I've never
I
had. So
Okay, I get stuff like nobody can, because I always sign off to my wife. I'm like, to my wife, I love you, and my kids, go wash your face. And everybody's like, nobody cares about your blah blah wife and or your dirty kids. I get rid of that stuff, but otherwise, I let controversy go a little bit because it's a place for everybody to learn, and yeah.
yeah, yeah, and I mean, like I'm not I don't do a lot of swearing in my videos. Like on lives, I will. I don't. If somebody's watching the live,
They chose to.
you need a life. but in the videos, I don't swear. I just because
Right.
I don't want to alienate somebody who might want to watch, and I don't want like if a kid does go on there and watch it, I don't want the parents going like, oh, I just heard that guy say shit or whatever. Like I just don't.
Right. Right.
So I just don't do it. But I mean, in my real life or on my wannabe scrapper channel, when I used to do that, everything was fair game, and I didn't stop anybody from saying anything. But everybody was generally respectful with me. So
Oh, when you start out and you don't have people like you, and you got people like CU scrapping and scrapping on the fly and everybody else. When you first start out, you got to dig out of the trenches of comments. Hey, I got hundreds and hundreds of comments for months and months about just terrible. And if you go back on a lot of my first videos, you'll see them, and they're pretty rough, man. If you let them affect you, they could really really send you sideways, you know.
I remember commenting on some of your first videos, and I like there wasn't unless you were already erasing a bunch, but
Well, I think I've only removed like 10 comments, and I've actually had to block one person, but that's
oh
it. That's not too bad. Yeah.
no, no, that's not too bad. Yeah, Daniel, you should clean up your language. I don't know if I don't think I've ever heard you swear, but what does this say? Might get shot. Someone see? Oh yeah, that for the cemetery stuff. Yeah, that's not. I like. I mean, I'm not a. I don't know what you'd say. I'm not somebody who believes in traditional things. So, like, I'm not. People will be like, "Don't speak ill of the dead," or "Don't, like, respect the dead." To me, they're dead. And but I would not just be. I wouldn't do it to somebody alive either. I wouldn't take your plaque off. Like if you put your name
Yeah.
in your house, I'm not going to go take it off. Just like I'm not going to take anything off of your grave. But
Well,
it's
you
not.
bought, yeah, you bought it. Honestly, that's your plot. That's your resting home. That's like me going into your house and taking, your plaque off the wall from your job.
Exactly, and that's the way I look at it. I don't look at it as like a disrespecting the dead thing, but I've also never been on crack. So
Right.
like I think if I was on crack, my limits have been changed. Like that line in the sand in a different
May blur a little.
yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I don't like I don't say that to be derogatory towards crackheads because I understand that you're crackhead and you have trouble and you're having a hard time getting through, you know, as other people maybe do. I I don't think that I'm better or worse than any crackhead. I think that I have chosen different addictions, like playing video games or whatever. Like that's what I do to take my mind off of problems. I'll stop and just play a video game for half an hour or something like that.
Well, and to be fair enough on both sides of it, both me and my brother were raised by the same parents, and I'm here, and unfortunately, he didn't make it through his addiction.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show that different choices. I have my own opinions, and I don't discuss them on the channel. I don't talk about politics on the channel. There's a few things I just stay away from just to make it user friendly because although I find your channel entertaining, I also learn from it, and that's what my channel is about. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't like people. A lot of people don't want politics on their channel, and I really don't care if people want to discuss politics as long as they don't care that I refute what they say or try to correct, maybe fact check or something. But a lot of people don't like that. So to me, it's up to you. Like, if you want to talk about politics, go right ahead. But I'm also going to talk about politics.
Just just don't open the door if you don't want people to walk through it. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't judge people on their politics, same as I don't judge people on their religion. Like, if you want to believe in something, that's great. Like if that helps you, perfect. I don't think that any religion is better than any other religion except for Scientology. They're a bunch of idiots. No.
Oh, leave Tom alone. No, I'm just.
Yeah, like to me, that's your life. If it's not hurting other people, go ahead,
By all means.
yeah, like help yourself. And if that's what you find that helps you, great. I really want people to get the help they need. I know just from struggling with mental health problems myself that like I wish everybody could just get the help they need. Like, but you can't. Like the government's they don't give enough money. They give lots of money to things that maybe they don't need to, and not as much to mental health, which I can see it getting worse and worse over time for people. And I know it was bad before, and they weren't allowed to talk about it. Like when I was a kid, you just weren't allowed to.
Yeah.
If you went and said like, "Dad, I'm depressed," he'd be like, "You shut your mouth. You do not say
Shrug it
that."
off and go fucking split some wood.
Yeah, exactly. Cut the grass. Like that'll help. So it's oh wait, what's something about ammonia? Froze stiff beneath an anhydrous tank. They had to. Oh, when I worked for a fertilizer company, we had things of anhydrous ammonia, and they yeah, I know, Roger, you're good. But they told me, like they said to look, and it was these tanks, like they said, you go to fill a tank with the ammonia, you have to like do this inspection, and if you see this and this, that means people have been stealing
Yes,
the
yes.
anhydrous ammonia. And I don't know what it is they make with it. I'm assuming meth or something, maybe.
It's
Or
it's it's anhydrous methamphetamines. Yes.
oh, okay. But yeah, like this is when I was in Ontario, and I know people do meth here. Like I'm, my I don't know what actually. It's probably not meth, but whatever the neighbor people keep coming in constantly day and night. They're getting something. And so it's not like because we live in a small rural place that we're immune to drugs, but I think it's maybe harder to find like people manufacturing it here. So I think they may like where I live near Toronto, I think a lot more people were stealing that stuff, whereas here I don't think they do. Like I don't think the farmer.
Right.
I've never heard of a farmer here going like, "Oh, somebody really hit my anhydrous tank." Like,
Well, and that's why I watch what I order and what I buy at the same time I buy it, because although like being isolated how we are, everybody makes everything. I came from the south. I know my way around is still pretty good. My papa taught me everything there is about that, but it's the same kind of concept up here.
yeah.
And it's not hard to make. It's really not. So, I feel bad, but like I had an officer walk up. He was just walking by, and he looked in my shop, and he seen all my gold refining equipment. And he just about lost it. I mean, yeah. And so I had to explain to him exactly, and he started looking. He's like, "Oh, okay." Like,
I just have to laugh at Bryce's comment here because that that's the way I look or feel like when people
oh,
they have their babies and they're like, "Oh, isn't he so cute?" And I'm like, "No, he's a baby. Like he looks like other babies." But yeah, I don't know. I've been at funerals like where people are. None of my family has ever had an open casket, so I'm glad about that. But yeah, I've been at funerals where they're like, "Oh, she just looks so good." I was like, "Really?" Because she was 87.
yeah, yeah. She was.
She looks good because they stretched her skin back when they embalmed her.
They got her facelift. Oh, poor grandma. Well, I don't do funerals and deaths very well, so I just stay out of it, man. Kind of creeps me out a little bit.
I go to funerals, but yeah, I don't. I shouldn't say I do. I've went to one funeral. Um, I my mom didn't have a funeral. She had like a niche wall, like she was cremated. So we went out, like it was during COVID. We went out and stood at -16 or whatever it was while this lady, I don't know, said some things about my mom, even though the lady had never met my mom. And
Right.
that was it. And that was the last time I've been to something. That was in I think 2020 or 2021. And before that, it was maybe like 2015. I went to a funeral. I really try to not because well, I don't like them, and we all die. I'm not having a funeral. I don't want people feeling obliged to come and sit around. I may have one of those celebrations of life though, because I've been to a few of those that were pretty fun. They have a little band playing or whatever, and everybody's having a good time. And but like this sitting around in black and
Right. Yeah. No, I don't want none of that stuff for me either. Like, and unfortunately, with my family, like, my family owns some group homes and things like that. That's why I don't. But I won't be inviting anybody because some of my family may be a little dramatic to the point of like throwing themselves on a casket. My wife don't need none of that. So don't get. We don't need none of that. My poor wife will have enough to deal with as it is.
yeah. Like, I have never been to one. Like, you see them on movies, but I've never been to one where anything like that has happened.
I've seen it. I came from Mount Vernon, Kentucky, is originally where I come from, and there are a lot of Pentecostal people there. And I'm not religious, like you said. I don't got no opinion on nothing, but I've seen some shit. So,
We had a Pentecostal camp right outside of the town I grew up in, and the there was this one girl that was there, and I really liked her. Like she was just such a super nice person, and so I remember like not I didn't know what a Pentecostal was. Like I never even heard of them. You didn't ever see TV shows where people like Pentecostals were on there, and then so then I was like an adult, probably in my early 20s, and I saw her somewhere, and I was like, "Hey, Vet, how's it going?" And she just like waved at me, kind of like, like she recognized me, but couldn't come and talk or whatever. And so then I turned to my friend and I was like, "Oh, that was weird." Like, her and I used to talk all the time. I really liked her. She's really nice. And he said, "Yeah, but she's with her family." And I said,
yeah.
"So?" And he said, "They're Pentecostals." I said, "Like, what does that mean?" And he said, "Well, they speak in tongues." And I said, "Like, what are you talking about?" Because I honestly didn't know what speaking in tongues meant. And then he said, "Well, I'll show you." So his grandparents were Pentecostal, and he had these videos of this is back in the 80s, and we had those big satellite dishes, and they were recording these Pentecostal sermons or whatever that were going on in the southern states. And there's these people like speaking in tongues, and I thought having seizures. I wasn't sure what was going on, and he's showing me these videos, and I said, "That's what Yvette does?" And he said, "Yeah." Yeah, he said, like, I've been to their church with my grandparents. Like, she does all of that stuff. And I was like, "Really?" But like in high school, she never once I don't know, maybe if that was her escape from it or what the deal was, but like I had no clue she even believed in God. Like she never once mentioned anything. And then I guess once she got out of high school, she had to live like at this. They called it a camp, but they lived there. Like all these people lived at this Pentecostal camp, and I was like completely shocked that this is a whole like religion that's been going on for so long, and I never even heard of it. Just because of where I grew up, I guess.
You're just geographically isolated to some things, like moving up here up north compared to living in the south is a completely different jump as well. I don't know what to say about all that. I grew up with all that stuff. I don't got nothing to say about none of it. My mother is a Methodist minister, so I'm just all over the place as far as all that goes.
Yeah. No, and I mean, like, as far as I know, like it's not like they were sacrificing things or anything. Although
no, they're not like Jim Jones, but
yeah, exactly. Like they're just doing their thing, but it like I didn't see like Yvette doing this. I just saw these people in like I think it was a church like in Dallas or something like that. Wherever it was, they were getting it by satellite feed. In Ontario, like in Canada, and it was like it looked like 10,000 people, like in this kind of stadium type setting, and this like one preacher out in the center of it all, and but the people were all over the bleachers, like just kind of going crazy. Like I thought maybe people were having seizures. I didn't know if maybe they kind of got going so hard that their body gave up on them or something. But yeah, it was.
Well, and everybody has their own. Like, so I went in my first marriage. I was married for quite a while, and I had like 1,500 people at my wedding, and I invited 3. But that was a religion that was the religion of the person I was dating at the time. Very closed off. They were old apostolic Lutheran. But at the end of the day, they're all just people. They all have their own thing. And
Oh
like
yeah.
you said, as long as nobody's hurting nobody, you know what? Everybody to each their own. Let them
Yeah.
enjoy it. Let them have fun. You know, and
Yeah. And the Lutheran, like this is something I learned from working with a lot of Mennonites, because the I didn't realize that Mennonites like were a schism from the Lutheran religion, or they're still, I guess they kind of are Lutherans, but they're also Mennonites. But the I like the Mennonite religion because they don't baptize their kids. They wait until their kids are adults, and then if they want to be baptized, then they can be baptized. And I think that's pretty cool that you give the kid. You're not forcing children into something. So you're kind of like, I think they're still kind of, they're not forced into it, but because they grow up in this setting where, like, if you're a certain way, you're going to be exercised from the community or whatever it is. I think they kind of, this is my family, these are my friends, so I don't want to not be a part of this anymore, so they just stay. But I do like that it's part of the religion where they're like, no, you can't force baptized children. So I mean,
right. At least everybody has a choice. It's like I don't, to the basic sense of the form, I don't agree with people who pierce babies' ears as a. I know this is kind of off to the side, but it's the same thing. Let
yeah,
them grow up. They want to have their ear pierced. Let them pierce their ear. You know, as long as, and this is going to go to the extreme. The high school in my area was literally going to put a litter box in the bathroom. Now, I don't know who's listening to this right now, and fortunately, I don't care about this because my opinion is this: my child should not have to share a bathroom with somebody who believes they need to use the litter box.
I heard, I didn't realize it was that school, because I've heard five different people. One of them is my sister, who said the exact same thing about their schools. I looked it up. I couldn't find any proof of anything, but like there's no,
Right.
like my sister's like, oh, my son shouldn't have to go to school with somebody who believes they're a cat. And
They can believe whatever they want. Now, I
yeah,
only know this from my two kids coming back, and we know how reliable two teenage boys are. So
yeah,
that's all I'm saying. But let anybody believe what they want to believe. But as soon as they start doing that, uh, I think they've lost sight of the educational purpose of school. I guess is my opinion.
yeah, and like uh, I don't. To me, it's not. I like when I was in school. I'm pretty sure I would have beat somebody up if I saw them having a crap in a litter box in at school. Just and probably
Just saying.
no matter where I am, if I see you taking a crap in a litter box, you're probably getting punched. I'm not a big guy though, so I
Just
can't say that I can't say I'm going to kick your ass, but I'm going to give it a good shot. But now as an adult, I look back and I'm like, whatever. I don't care. I really don't care. I've got so many problems in my life. Worrying about what somebody believes they are does not even register in my brain. I'm just like, people will be like, so blah blah blah, and I'm like, don't care.
Nope,
Oh,
don't got time. Sorry, don't
the
got time.
government's doing this. Don't care. I don't care what
Don't
the
got
government's
time.
doing. I can't stop the government from whatever they're doing. I don't. I'm just gonna keep going until somebody tries to stop me from doing what I'm doing. Then maybe I'll have words with someone. But
Oh
no,
God, we're gonna have to make a GoFundMe to get HH out of jail.
no, like that's the thing. Like even at work, like guys, like I work with people who, and you probably have been in enough union, around enough union people in your life that you've seen these people that do like go to so much trouble to not do their work, like not do their job. Like they spend so much time figuring out a way to not have to do something that the next thing you know, the company's trying to fire them. And
Right.
I'm not one of those people. Like when I go to work for somebody, if you're paying me a wage to do something, I'm going to do that if it's not illegal. And sometimes even if it is illegal, like I don't care really. If I've got to take a truck, like lots of times they'll phone. We're an hour and a half from our mechanics, and say a couple of brakes blow out on a truck or something like that, the mechanic will be like, oh, well, it's going to be 3 days before we can get someone there. And I'm like, do you mind if I bring it in? And I'll throw some vice grips on the airlines, back the brakes off, and drive that truck into town. And I know that it's illegal. I know I'm not supposed to do that, but I also know that we need to keep the roads plowed and sanded. And if we don't have the trucks to do it, people, there's going to be accidents. So I don't mind breaking the law to do stuff like that. And the company has never asked me to do it. But I've got these other guys who are, I'll be out there, like I'll hear an air leak and I'll be like, oh, there's an air leak somewhere here. It's like draining my air tanks down whenever the key's on. And the guy be like, that's a mechanic problem. I'm like, yeah, the mechanics aren't here. So if we can figure out something, maybe we can fix it. We have the tools and we have parts. No, that's a mechanic job. I'm not helping you do that. And you're like, really? So like the company's paying you, like you're on the clock right now, but you refuse to do light vehicle maintenance because it's not your job. And I guess I'm just from a different school of thought where I'm like, it is my job. Like when I signed up for this job, my job was, like running equipment, doing manual labor, flagging on the highway if there's an accident. Like I know that my job is to try and keep our highway safe. And my family and my friends all live here. I want that highway to be safe. And then we've got guys that if it gets to like 30 below, they're like, nope, not working. It's too cold. And you're like, yeah, but it's still a snowstorm. No,
it's still happening whether you want to deal with it or not. Yeah.
Yeah. So they will sit in the office and every 2 hours go out and start their truck up so that it's going to keep going, and leave one person to do, I don't know, like 150 kilometers of road. And you're just kind of like, then they phone, and they're like, well, I don't know, the union contract says that if it gets to this temperature, they don't have to, they don't have to do anything. You're like, what?
Yeah.
It's a snowplow driver. You work in the winter in northern Canada. Like, it gets cold. And why the union would have ever, and our boss is our union lead, like our foreman or whatever.
Oh man, yeah, no, you can't do that. What I used to do, you can't do that.
No, it's a conflict of interest, but here, for whatever reason, they allow it. But he'll be like, can you please go out? Like, we need these roads done. They'd be like, nope. And then he's like, I don't know what to do with these guys. And I'm like, aren't you on the bargaining committee? Yeah. So you're the reason, or you're at least a third of the reason that this happened.
I don't know what to say. Yeah, I have the same thing.
You can't come back and be mad about something that you bargained into our contract.
You made the deal 3 years ago, and now you're telling us, looking for the idiot who made that deal for us.
Yeah. Oh, what's this one? Having to earn their paycheck. Yeah, the weird thing is that these guys aren't lazy because they put a lot of work. We got one guy who I believe he's shot himself in the foot now, but like he caused so much trouble because they buy all of your safety, your PPE, except for your work boots, and never have.
Yeah.
It's in the, when you sign up, it says we do not pay for your work boots. And so we had this like roving foreman come in when our boss was doing union stuff, and he comes in and he's like, says to the one guy, he goes like, hey, why don't you have steel toes on? And he's like, he goes, because I don't wear steel toes, I wear these boots, they're comfortable. And he said, you have to wear steel toes. He goes, no, then you supply me with steel toes. And he said, no, that's not how this works. You supply the steel toes. We supply everything else. Like, but you have to have steel toes. When you signed up to work for us, you signed a contract saying that you would
Yeah.
provide your steel toes. Nope, not doing it. So he went through the union contract and found a stipulation that said that they have to provide you with rubber boots for washing the trucks. Like they have to supply these rubber boots. And because it doesn't say steel toe rubber boots, but because we have to have steel toes on at work, it has to be steel toes. So then he is trying to like fight them through the union to make them pay for him to have a pair of steel toe rubber boots to drive the truck in.
Yeah,
Now,
that's gonna get heavy and crap. He's gonna pay for that on his own body, though. You know.
that was the thing. So then, anyways, like just to because he screwed me over he's the reason I got laid off. I said to them, I said, it doesn't say what kind of rubber boots. So
give him some fucking hip waders.
that was exactly what I said. There's 3 pairs of steel-toed hip waders right there. So tell him he can use those.
Oh, perfect, right there. That's exactly how you do it.
Yeah. So he showed up like the next Monday with his with a pair of steel toes on. The thing was, he had steel-toe boots at home. Like I've worked with a guy on several different jobs that weren't government union jobs, and he has all of his own. Like he has to pay for all of his own safety stuff. But he was just like, for whatever reason, I'll bet you he spent 10 hours reading the union contract
Yeah.
to find that one thing. And that's not a lazy person. That's just somebody who, I don't know if they're just angry or they're like bitter with the company or what the deal is, but they're not lazy. If you're going to spend 10 hours to try and figure out a way to make your boss pay for a $150 pair of boots,
Right. You just
hours
spent
of your own time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I worked for a union too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, to me that's crazy, but we, like, of our 6 people, 2 of our people are like that, where they're just,
Yeah, you always find one. You know, we have the same thing, but ours is like a health, like a family paid leave act, and that's a really good thing, and it helps a lot of families. You know, say a kid gets sick, then you know, the parent can stay home without being sick as well.
yeah,
But we always had people that constantly, you know, abused that, you know, and it just sucked because now the rest of the burden was upon everybody else. That's how I ended up getting forced for 26 hours a day, you know, and
yeah,
I'm working with human beings. I'm not, you know, machinery is dangerous in and of itself, but I'm working with 300-pound individuals with mental handicaps that cause them to just explode. And now I'm 26 hours into a shift because you didn't want to come into work because you didn't want to get your ass handed to you when I'm 6'1" and 180 pounds soaking wet dealing with these people. Like,
yeah. Well, I'm only 5'5", so
well,
so I outweigh you, and I'm much shorter.
you would have been perfect. You would have been my great backup, man. It would.
I come in low.
There you go. There you go. You know, but no, so I get it. I completely understand. Unfortunately, I'm missing most of my front teeth, and I know nobody can hear my videos, but because of my partial, I have a lisp. And it sucks, man. Yeah, yeah. I got my ass handed to me so many times going in with somebody who wants to not adhere to just normal social standards of behavior. So,
My wife worked at a group homes for years, like when she was
oh,
young,
okay,
and no training. And she was like, she
okay,
said there was like times where she was like frightened because she said, like, I guess you probably know all about this, but anyways, I guess there's these mag locks on like people's doors and that because like they're violent or whatever. And I forget what it was. There was something that with these maglocks, but like she said, like some of these people, like so they're not allowed to have a lighter, say, because they're prone to arson. And
Right, right.
she would see that they have a lighter, but like she said, there's like this is a huge man who would tear her apart. She was like I think 17 or 18, like, and no, absolutely no training, like no, just kind of, hey, can you work overnights? Sure. Pays good. Okay, yeah, that's great. So when you're 17 or 18 years old and you're getting paid, good money to stay overnight at a group home for mentally challenged people, like, not good. You probably had to have a university degree or something, eh? Like,
Well, no, I have an AA and stuff like that. You have to have certain things for what I eventually did. But when I started, we're talking at a time there were no laws or anything. There were just yeah, it was like the Wild West 20 years ago in the field of human services.
oh,
So. But no, it's interesting, and my wife does it now too. She does overnights. Bless her heart, she's a little Italian. I love her to death, man. And she, I'm a little worried to go sideways on her. They do train you. We have the local, well, sometimes you'll have the law enforcement come in. You'll have ex law enforcement that will teach you different things to help you, in
yeah.
situations. And but other than that, no. Your wife had the choice of either A, does she put the other individuals at risk of being, uh, hurt because of this guy, or is she going to go in herself and try to get that lighter from that guy? And those are the choices you make every day doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think most of the time she just, kind of put it off to the whoever else. But like there's just so many different people with so many different problems, and like to me that's the crazy part. It's not those people that are crazy. I know, like, they've got their problems, but like the fact that there's a company that I'm sure it's better now, but back then where you're just kind of like, hey, we just need bodies in there. Like you just need to go in and keep your eye on things. Things can
And
go
that's
bad.
yep. Really quick. They sure can, and that's unfortunately the way it was. It's not like that now. There's a lot of like HIPAA laws, and there's a Jensen Act, Settlement Act, things like that were applied against like state hospitals who did just basically fill people with similar behavioral characteristics that they would put in the same room, and they were definitely not supposed to be in the same place together. And so
Yeah.
it is a lot better, and it's a lot more personalized. And my family owns some group homes in the area as well. So I'm well versed in that, and that's why I love my electronics now.
Yeah, I always thought it was I remember like when my wife and I first got together, my aunt was she worked in group homes, but she was like one-on-one with younger people, and like she would take them home, like they would come and stay at her house on the weekends and stuff like
Yep.
that. And
Yep.
that was the world I knew about group homes. They were all, yes, they could. I remember there was one guy named Gabe, and he would hug you until, your head just about popped off. But there was nothing violent about him. He was just so excited to see you that he just, could not stop hugging you. And I could get, at the time I was like, oh, like I think Gabe's trying to kill me. Like, but then when she's like telling me about some of the people that are in these places, and she's going in as a teenage girl, I'm just like that's brave to me. Like I was sitting there thinking like about, because I worked with a lot of, when I was doing tree work and stuff, you work with a lot of like tough guys that just really like to fight. So you're always going to work like with this kind of your back up. And I thought that was bad, but those guys are predictable. Like those guys,
Yeah.
you can handle them. You can talk them out of most things. some of the situations she was telling me about, I'm just like, there's no talking anybody out of that. Like,
you have to get creative, and they do train you in like based almost like hostage negotiation. It's called ease training, effective and safe engagement, therapeutic intervention, things like that. They'll teach you, try to. Oh, so basically, honestly, it comes down to like you were talking about your job. If a guy's sitting on the edge of the roof and he says, "Hey, I want one of your cigarettes, or I'm going to jump," what are you going to do? You're probably going to give him a cigarette.
yeah,
Now it's
yeah,
against the law. It's against your law, and you're probably going to have to go on the board to explain why you gave an individual a cigarette. But at the end of the day, he didn't jump.
right. Yeah, yeah, and that like, but where when I remember I was working a construction job and a guy pushed me off the roof of we were doing a water filtration plant, and we called the guy Brains because his what he wanted to do was make enough money to get twice as much acid as Jimi Hendrix took when he died. That was his whole goal to working in this construction job. And so we were up on the roof, and I was like caulking along the edge of the roof, and Brains comes up and says, he's like, hey man, like I need $40. And I was like, I had just got kicked out of high school. And so I was 15. I think I was 15. And I'm working this construction job. My parents don't even know I got kicked out of high school. I'm going on the bus every day to the school and then walking down to this construction job. And then this Brains guy says, I need $40. And I don't have $40. And I was like, yeah, Brains, whatever. And because everybody called him Brains, but turns out his name was Rob. And Rob didn't like it when some kid called him Brains. So he just like walked up and pushed me off of the roof. And it was the second story, and there was a trench at the bottom. And luckily I landed on the dirt that had been dug up. So it was kind of softer, and it knocked the wind out of me, and it bruised a bunch of ribs. And, I didn't feel good for days. But then this cokehead carpenter pushed Brains off the roof, and he landed half in the trench, broke both of his legs.
Oh,
and like we never saw him again on the job. And then 3 years later, I'm stopping at this farmer's market, and I was like picking up some strawberries or something, and I hear, hey man, and I turn around and it's Brains. And so like, to me, that was the most dangerous thing that ever happened in my life at work, like that. And then all of a sudden there's this Brains, and he's like, hey man, I'm really sorry about pushing you off the roof. And I was like, oh, well, it's all done now. Like, I don't know what to say to this guy, because I don't know if he's stable now or what the thing is. And now I'm not at work. I don't have anybody around me to protect me. And then you're the mongoloid kind of guy, like, but he was like, he goes, I just wanted to tell you I was sorry. I didn't know how to get a hold of you, but I've been going to therapy. And I was like, oh, that's awesome, man. Like, I'm glad you're getting help and all that.
well, maybe it gave him some closure. Maybe he needed some closure maybe he thought about it for a long time and finally ran into you, was able to be like, hey, I'm sorry. Who knows? Or I have no idea. Maybe he wanted to find a roof to throw you off of.
Yeah, exactly. But so to me, like, that was like the craziest thing that had ever, and still to this day, it's, I think, the craziest thing that's ever happened to me at work. And that was when I was like just a kid. And
yeah,
I find out, like, my wife at that age was dealing with all kinds of Brains, like all kinds of these people that just might snap at the slightest thing.
And it's not everybody. They're not all of them. Like I said, the first 10 years I did in the sex offenders program. So they were in a locked facility. They were not allowed to get out, and they were there for a reason. The last 10 years, I worked as a work therapy tech, and I developed small businesses for them. And after 10 years of making other people's children rich, I was like, why can't I do it for myself? But So it's not always dangerous, but my 10 years of being there, I mean, I was standing on the other side of people 5 times my size, and then watching them. I can say it without saying names, but I've watched people get tased, both with the physical taser and with the projectile tasers. I've seen, yeah, I've been choked and pretty well. Like I said, had my ass handed to me over and over. So for anybody who does it, I absolutely have just the utmost respect, but
Oh,
it's
sure.
tough when you do get those, ones that's all they want to do, because that's all the life they've had is being locked into that facility. It's
Yeah.
rough.
Yeah. Hi, baby.
Hi, nerds.
Are we ready? Are we gonna watch a thing, or is it too late? Yeah, you want to go? Okay. Oh. All right. We're just having a good chat. We're talking about Scrooge was he's worked in group homes for many years.
Woo, woo. Me too, bro.
Yeah, I was telling him about like how all the craziest thing that ever happened to me at work like could happen to you at any time there.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
So, anyways, Scrooge, I'm
All
glad
right.
you're here, man. It was nice talking to you because I really am not good for texting, as you guys probably have noticed.
He sucks at it.
And so I'm more of a verbal.
Right. It's hard to communicate through comments and stuff, So, and I don't normally jump on lives, but I seen you were up here, so I figured I'd just stop in.
Yeah, my old buddy, Nice Junk, he's on his honeymoon.
Oh, happy honeymoon.
No, he's gone. He's not on here. He's on his honeymoon.
I know,
Oh.
but someday he's going to see this and he's going to know I was thinking about
Nobody
him.
is going to watch.
He'll skip ahead to the part where his name's in it.
Yeah,
Someone will tell me.
I'll tag him in the description.
Yeah,
And then he'll
as
know.
always, we wish them so much love.
It's good too because
Fun
I'll get
and
like
good times.
I'll get 2 hours. Oh, it's been 2 hours. I'll get 2 hours of watch time out of him, just him waiting to hear his name.
5 minutes. Oh, I just broke the. Yeah, I should have said that.
All right. Well, everybody, I appreciate you coming. I know there's not there looks like there's 3 people here, but I do appreciate it. And yeah, she her and I used to do lives together. The if nobody showed up within like 4 minutes, she was like, "I'm out of here."
Yeah. All right, man. Well, you go have fun, and until next time, we'll see everybody later.
All right. Yeah. Hopefully next Friday. Take it easy, everybody.
All right.